to have you here for the 2018 P.E.O. Visit Day. Thank you for joining us here today, and thank you for your unshakable and continual support of our college. I truly appreciate all of you that have chosen to be here. I appreciate the distances that you had to travel. I appreciate the very brave few BILs in the audience. And I really appreciate our fan group up here. So, as you may have noticed, Cottey is a pretty busy place. We typically would have had this event next door in the auditorium, but rehearsals are now taking place for a very, very exciting event that will take place tomorrow here on campus. It's called 100 Years of Bernstein, and it celebrates the music of Leonard Bernstein. It brings together our wind ensemble, our chamber singers, and students from the Nevada High School. And they will all be in performance tomorrow afternoon, and actually they're rehearsing this morning. And when you go on your tours, you'll have the opportunity to sneak into the back of the auditorium and get a taste of what's going on. The events scheduled for today are designed to inform, inspire, and to celebrate everything that has come before and everything that is yet to come. As you know, Cottey is in a time of change. Change in the programs being offered, change in the means and methods of recruiting and retaining our students, and change in who Cottey is today and who Cottey will be in the future. But rest assured, my friends, the mission of Cottey will never change. Since 1884, it has been our mission, established by Virginia Alice Cottey, to offer an incredible educational experience to women. Now, important to this discussion, though, is who we came from or where we came from, and also to acknowledge our founder, Virginia Alice Cottey. She was inspired to create a residential school for girls and young women to ensure that they had the opportunity to receive an excellent education. Alice was a woman of vision. With $3,000, she traveled across the country with her sister Dora to find the right place for her school. They were looking for a location to educate girls and women to be thinking, knowledgeable, mature adults. Now consider for a moment the many options that she had. But in 1884, she and Dora were invited to Nevada, Missouri, and there she opened her very first school on land donated by the community of Nevada. They built a 2-story red brick building. And you may be interested to know that red brick building stands as the center of Main Hall yet today. Now keep in mind, during those first years of the school, the students were shuttled from one place to another by horse-drawn streetcars, or they walked. They were not allowed to attend the theater because Alice believed that actors led immoral lives. And for those of us who majored in theater, you know, that's kind of whatever. Students were expected to dress with hats and gloves whenever they went into the town of Nevada. And within the first few years, an epidemic of scarlet fever hit our community and quarantined Cottey for 2 weeks. Now in March 1926, Alice became a member of P.E.O. Chapter DW, a chapter that still exists right here in Nevada, Missouri. She discovered that her new sisters were very interested in the education of women, and she learned about their aid that had made it possible for young women to attend college. And she knew that Cottey College would be a true asset to the Sisterhood. She is quoted as saying that it came almost like a revelation to her that this is where, the Sisterhood is where Cottey College belonged. So as you might imagine, a correspondence quickly took up with the Supreme Chapter President, Mrs. Alice Scott. Now, just a week before the Supreme Chapter was to meet, a committee was appointed to meet Alice in Kansas City to decide whether or not they should assume responsibility for Cottey College. Could they get all the details worked out in that short amount of time? Well, we know P.E.O.s. We know that when we're given a job, we make it happen. So Alice attended the convention, and she spoke from the platform, and she told her story. Now, when she finished her talk, she was not prepared for the shocked looks on the faces of the women in attendance. First, there was silence, and then a rousing applause. Now, it was decided that no action would be taken that day, but rather a vote would be taken on accepting the school in the morning. Oh, you can imagine, there was much conversation that evening. Discussions of the pros and the cons of accepting responsibility for a college. And when the votes were counted and Alice realized the tremendous courage it took for the P.E.O. Sisterhood to take on this responsibility, she said that her eyes filled with tears. She rose, and with a steady voice, she said these words, quote, "From the bottom of my heart, I thank you. As I have been sitting here, I've been thinking about how strange are the ways of God to man. At the time when the P.E.O. Sisterhood was beginning to foster the education of women, in a small town in Missouri, I was struggling with the same goal. As I look at a bowl of marguerites tied with a yellow and white, I thought of a group of young girls sitting in a plain study hall, taking a vote on their school colors and their school flower. They also, coincidentally, decided on marguerite and the yellow and white. The rest, they say, is history. P.E.O. and Cottey College have been partners in the education of women for over 90 years. 90 years. Two organizations joined together. One, a philanthropic educational organization, and the other, an institution of higher education for women. Two amazing institutions, two amazing organizations with one goal, the education of women. So just consider for a moment the stated purpose of P.E.O. from the website. It says to celebrate the achievement of women, to educate women through scholarship, grants, and awards, and to motivate women to achieve their highest aspirations, end quote. At Cottey, we have the same mission, to educate, to celebrate, to advance, and to motivate women. And just as Cottey encourages women from all over the globe and all over the United States and the world to open new doors to their future, Cottey also encourages women from over 20 countries and 35 states annually. Women who start at Cottey or transfer in, women who are full-time or part-time, women who live in our suites or commute, women who desire an education. We encourage all of them to earn a degree that can change their lives. Further, Cottey and P.E.O. are both about developing bonds of friendship and sisterhood that span the years. We know that as P.E.O.s, we work together. We work together with the woman next door, or we work together with the woman across the country to ensure that women of all ages and means can afford an education. Now at Cottey, these bonds are created by living and working and learning in an environment that is supportive and an environment that is collaborative. The friendships and the networks that our students receive at Cottey, just like the friendships and the networks of those of us who are fortunate enough to be members of the P.E.O. Sisterhood, are lifelong. So let me pause and ask a question here. If a young woman were to come up to you and say, why should I go to college? Or more specifically, Why should I go to Cottey College? What would you say to that? What would you say to her? Why should that young woman leave home, perhaps travel hundreds or thousands of miles, arrive in a rural community where the nearest Starbucks is 60 miles away, where heat, humidity, mosquitoes, thunderstorms, tornadoes, ice and snow abound, to attend a college with no boys? Now, I know you've heard every single one of those comments. My dear friends, the answer is really simple: opportunity. A college education at Cottey gives our women the opportunity to read the words and appreciate the works of the most celebrated thinkers and artists of all times. That's the definition of liberal arts and sciences: to learn to be a critical thinker, a problem solver, to learn to make ethical decisions, to learn to conduct research and use the scientific method, to be a strong communicator, to look at issues from new and different perspectives, to question, and to think for herself, not simply to believe what someone else has told her to believe. After 4 years, our students leave Cottey College educated women, women who can form their own ideas and not simply accept what someone else tells them to believe. Women have the opportunity to learn about tolerance and learn to appreciate cultural differences, to travel and experience the world, to plan for her future and that next step, whether it be graduate school or the job market, and to learn to be a member of a team. Could be in the classroom, on the athletic field, as a member of a cast or musical group, or as part of a co-curricular activity. And to experience being a leader, to develop those important leadership skills that will be useful in their lives and their jobs far beyond the walls of Cottey College. Now, over the summer, I had the opportunity to attend 6 state conventions. Now, one of the questions that I was often asked was, do you think women's colleges will continue to survive? Okay, I need you to answer that. Do you think women's colleges will continue to survive?
Yes!
Absolutely. Why? In addition to the fact that women who attend women's colleges are 17% more likely to be prepared for their first job, and 26% more likely to attend graduate school when compared to women who attend co-ed institutions, all women's education provides women with the voice and the confidence to thrive in that male-dominated world. Students are given the opportunity to find and hone their leadership skills in a collaborative environment, one that supports each member. Now keep in mind, all organizations at Cottey College are led by a woman. Of course, what a wonderful role model. Women's colleges are places where students can encourage one another, where acceptance and respect for diverse values and beliefs prevail. Women's colleges are places where students defy the gender norms to enroll in classes that are often dominated by men, such as the math and sciences, in an academic community that encourages and values student-centered learning. And women's colleges are important, and I use P.E.O. as evidence of this. We all know the importance of a women's organization that supports women, that gives women a voice, and a women's college has the same goal: to educate and support women. You know, I'm often asked another question: who is the Cottey student? Well, let me tell you, our students are bright, they're outgoing, they're confident, and desirous of receiving a quality education. And you'll meet some of those students today. And let me just give you a few facts. And these aren't things I expect anyone to ever remember, but it should create a picture in your mind. Last academic year, the average high school GPA of students coming to Cottey was a 3.4. 30% of our freshman class was either a U.S. minority or an international student. And of that 30%, 10% was international, 8% Hispanic, 5% African American. And I can tell you this fall, the one we've just started, our freshman class is up by 11%, and we're extremely proud of it. Last year, 31% of our students were first generation. 18% were legacy, meaning a female relative attended Cottey. 32% were athletes, and this number is growing. Students came from Cottey from 32 different states. Missouri, California, Texas, Arizona, and Washington sent us the greatest number of students. And students came from 18 different countries. Nigeria and Zimbabwe sent us the most students, leading Cottey to be named the number 2 for being highest percentage of international students in the Midwest region, according to the U.S. News and World Report. The majority of our students live on campus, but our commuter population is growing. 70% last year were enrolled in the bachelor program. Think about that. So 70% of last year's students were earning a 4-year degree. The biggest enrollments were in biology, health sciences, psychology, business, and English. 98% of our students received financial aid. And at the time of graduation last year, and this is important to remember, while the average loan debt in the United States at the time of graduation from the baccalaureate degree was $40,000, at Cottey it was half that amount. In the spring last year, 25 of our students completed internships and 17 went on a semester abroad to China, England, Finland, Nigeria, Argentina, Chile, Ghana, France, or Japan. And now remember, every single student at Cottey College has an experience during spring break. It used to be only the sophomore class, but last year our amazing Board of Trustees approved that trip for every single student. So if a student transfers to Cottey after the sophomore year, once she's been here and earned 24 hours, she also has the opportunity to travel on that trip. Now, many students say about Cottey that Cottey gave them the opportunity to learn in a collaborative, not a competitive setting, to find their voices, to learn how to use those voices, and to never allow their voices to be silenced. Now, I'd like to real quickly show you the video of our new brand. So I'm going to ask Margaret to come out here and take care of this, because she can start the video, whereas I will probably goof it up. Margaret?
Since 1884, Cottey College has believed in women, believed in its students, believed in its mission, believed in action, believed in leadership, believed in service, believed in global awareness, believed in a better tomorrow. A legendary pastime of changing the future. And we're just getting started. Cottey students come here not only to learn, they come here to lead. They don't find themselves, they make themselves. They don't do what they can, they do what they must. Cottey students emerge into the learners and leaders they have the potential to become, and they continue the mission of the bold women who came before them. Introducing the next era of women's education. The next era of women's leadership. The next era of global good. Introducing the next era of Cottey College. Cottey College, creators of incredible futures.
Everyone at Cottey College is involved in creating incredible futures. The faculty, the staff, the alumnae, the board of trustees, all the friends of the college. The whole idea is for students to have the opportunities to create their own incredible futures. And you, my friends, are big in that area. The fact that the P.E.O. Sisterhood and the BILs create incredible futures by recruitment efforts, financial support through scholarships and sweet endowments, and through your emotional and financial support of our students and our suites. You help students by letting them know that there are 230,000 P.E.O.s and their BILs out there supporting them. So I thank you for that. Now, as I close, I have a question. I am hopeful that in the last few moments, I have created within you a fan for Cottey College. Are you now fans of Cottey College? When we are a fan, we get excited about something. So my message to you is, folks, let's get excited. Let's talk about Cottey. Let's tell Cottey's story. Let's encourage high school girls to come for a visit. Plan a trip to Cottey. Bring your friends back with you. Remember, we're just around the corner from Branson. In short, take everything that you're learning today, everything that you're being offered this weekend, and help continue creating incredible futures for our students.